Today on Trend.
Living in the woods does not mean roughing it. I see how to put custom-made window film to work, creating a kitchen that's a work of art.
We're here deep in the woods, Mattick's woods that is. Ingrid, this is such a beautiful development.
Mattick's Wood was the creation of VanderWal Developments, which is the family that owns and operates Codover Bay Golf Course, Mattick's Farm, and they really wanted to contribute to building just a beautiful community here. Mattick's Wood is an enclave of 40 custom-built, designed homes, really keeping as much of the West Coast flair and natural feel, and a conscious effort to use natural materials to blend in with the earth tones and really create just an upscale, beautiful neighborhood.
It really does tie in with its surroundings, and there's so much around here.
And it just is nestled just steps to the golf course at Codover Bay. You can walk to Mattick's Farm, collect your groceries, grab a bottle of wine, and just really enjoy the ambience of community right at your doorstep. And the design of this overall development was very conscious with, again, that footprint that was a little bit ahead of its time. This was created back in 1998 with a combination of the Jal family working with Frank D'Ambrosio and Peter de Hooge, very well-known Victoria local architects. And they created this enclave really keeping to a beautiful consistency of design and materials and quality and build. And even from the laneways and the roadways with the interlock brick, really no expense was spared. And again, it was a bit ahead of its time and was something that a lot of other developers used after the fact as an example of what you can create in a beautiful urban subdivision.
And I love that they kept a lot of the mature greenery. There's so many trees around here and gardens, and it just has such a calm, peaceful feel to it.
And again, definitely that was part of the overall concept. So in keeping with the natural environment, there are pockets of common property that the owners all share together, and those are protected areas. So anything from, you know, even fallen branches to leaves to fallen tree stumps, they've tried to keep all of that intact so that it is a natural environment for foliage and fauna, and it really is quite unique to find in this kind of semi-urban area.
It really is a great community. You can just stay here with your neighbors, and there's so many activities to do.
And your steps, again, from the Galloping Goose, Lochside Trail, that network, you can go all the way north to Sydney on your e-bike, or if you want a little bit of a downtown experience on the trail, I think it's maybe about a half an hour to bike into town. So you're really in that great proximity. The beaches of Codover Bay are just a 5-10 minute walk as well. And it really captures a beautiful lifestyle that we're seeing that is becoming more attractive too for those living outside of Victoria.
Let's talk for a second about this beautiful home that we're standing in. I love these high vaulted ceilings. It just makes it feel so impressive.
And just that spacious feel from that grand entry when you first walk in. But the overall footprint isn't overly massive either. We're finding that even those in their pre-retirement, retirement, wanting to design it with a master suite on the main floor, which this one offers, but again, not having too much square footage where it just becomes a bit of a burden. So just under 3,000 square feet with two lovely separate guest bedrooms upstairs, each with their own ensuite. It really accommodated the family perfectly for those grandchildren coming to visit. Or if you're a little bit more of an executive family, it's the perfect environment as well.
Let's talk for a second about the beautiful updated ensuite and the master bath.
And this homeowner definitely had a keen eye and a smart vision to hire one of your colleagues, Yvonne Mead, who did just an extraordinary job with updating and reconfiguring the ensuite. Even though the home is not that old, definitely that is one area, and I think you can attest to as well, where you're really going to benefit from a more modern update.
Well, he did such an amazing job, from the huge giant shower to the natural marble, and I love the wallpaper that they picked.
Me too, and it's just become so exciting with that element that's being brought into, especially like powder rooms and en suites, where it doesn't have to be an overall massive experience of wallpaper,
Right.
but enough to give it a little bit of a punch.
I really love the location of the den in this home because you could have such a wonderful at-home office right off the foyer.
And again, really good quality design and features, bringing a lot of the elements of casual, comfortable living, both inside and out. And part of that is the connection to the outdoors. There's a beautiful walkout patio right off the kitchen, so easy for barbecuing, alfresco dining. And every window that you look out, which there's a lot. And
there is, yeah.
it's beautiful light in this home. You get to see that greenery, both the natural covenant setting areas with the trees, to the extensive landscaping that the homeowners have updated, including exterior lighting. It's just a beautiful complement all the way around the whole home.
This home is so much like the neighborhood. It really has it all.
And Mattick's Wood definitely is near and dear to my heart, and it's one of my favorite neighborhoods to be part of.
One of the biggest problems that I'm getting all the time is the whole fishbowl effect. Homes are a lot closer today, whether you're next to the road and people are looking in, or the condo with your neighbors. We're going to have a lot of answers given to us today how to avoid that. Ken, it's so great to be here today.
Thank you. It's really great that you're with us.
It's been 25 years that you've been in business now, and things have really evolved.
Absolutely. When I started in business in early '97, we were really reacting to the earthquake safety initiative that the province was on, and so we started out with security films or safety films, much like this product.
So what does that mean? That adheres to the glass?
It adheres very strongly to the glass, and so in the event the glass breaks, people are not injured.
Right. So what was the evolution after that for glass?
Well, people were talking to us about solar window films, you know, too much heat in my office, or I need great privacy, and so it evolved. And by early 2000s, I was really into solar window films and developing decorative privacy for people who wanted something different.
And what would be an example of that for a commercial project?
The most typical one is where lines are cut on a piece of machinery so they're very exact and straight, and then there are different amounts of clear spacing between the bands of privacy frosting films.
And really with your own printers, you can do all sorts of images though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with this machine here, here's an example of a product that is designed to create distraction, but you can still see the person working. And so it's just subtle privacy.
Right.
So that there's still lots of light coming through. Here's another example of work that we produced for someone's home office.
Okay.
And this is a design that's created on our printer. It's printed on optically clear film that's designed for a UV machine. And this is a piece of geometric graphic.
See, and I love this because that's where the creativity comes in. I think that the designs are probably endless.
Oh, they are. Anything that you can photograph in high res, or anything that you can design in vector, we can print. An example, actually, the uniqueness of this is printing an anti-bird strike window film. That again,
That's
we
interesting.
apply, so we print white dots It's applied to this particular film, mounted to the outside of the window, and the dots are spaced specifically for that bird species. But when you're on the inside of the house and you're looking out, what we do is we color the backside of that dot to suit the forest scene or the sky. So it helps to make the dots disappear.
There you go. I think
Right.
the sky's really the limit when it comes to what we can do. Welcome to McGeechee Fitness Club. This is a very private and exclusive gym located in my spare bedroom. This used to be my spare bedroom before all of the craziness happened and my gym closed. I needed a space to work out where I could comfortably go and fit all of my equipment. The spare bedroom obviously isn't being used right now, so we pulled everything out, took the bed, the shelving out, and it's a bit of a process to pull it all together. So it really was a bit of a dumping grounds for a week or two. But once we pulled it all together, it's come out really nicely. It gives me lots of room to move around and also fits the treadmill. There was one very important aspect to this design though. I wanted to be able to flip it back to a spare bedroom if I need to. So this wall mural in the background here, as you can see, is very trendy. They're so popular right now. It's not like the Hawaiian sunset that you had in the 80s on your wall. It's something much more trendy, and it's very cool because it's self-adhesive and it's vinyl. So it took one person to put it up, me. I maybe should have had somebody help, but it wasn't an option at the time. So it just went up in sections. And once I'm finished with it and don't want it anymore, it will peel right off without wrecking the walls. So it gives you lots of great options. I'm very excited about this rubber floor that we use too. Windsor Plywood supplied it, and it's clicked together, so it's floating on the floor. It's not permanent, it's not glue down. We can move it and change it at any time. And yet it's what they really use in the gyms. It's very industrial and durable. This room has become so functional for me, but also when I don't need it anymore, it's gonna flip back. Today, you're gonna get to witness a beautiful home. It's not just your standard kitchen that we're in right now. Jonathan, this kitchen is so artsy and has such a great design.
Thanks, Amy. It's great to see you again. Yeah, this kitchen was designed by one of our designers, Jason Rollstone, and he did a wonderful job working with clients and talking about art, that they have a great art collection. So one of the things Jason wanted to do is incorporate that in with some open shelves and some lower cabinets, because we have a lot of transom windows and things. So we wanted to make sure that we captured that eclectic art mix of pieces and great features that they'd collected over the years and display it in a way that was, beautiful.
And it's true, because in this particular home, the kitchen is really the hub of the space because it is so open concept that it really needs to accentuate everything and really accent it.
Yeah, and one of the goals that we're trying to achieve is lots of counter space and lots of open areas so that the homeowners could do their canning, and it was still a functional kitchen. They have a large family, so when they all come over, they want to have the space to stand around the island and just mingle and just it still be really warm and welcoming and functional at the same time.
And it really integrates their love of artwork. Even the backsplash behind you has that sort of great feel to it, and the hood fan, and then the floating walnut cubes.
Yeah, the cubes were really, a unique way for us to display the artwork. And, one of the things we did is put white interiors in it. So it's not just open back to the drywall, but there's actually a white interior inside of it to kind of help pop those bits of color, artistic pieces off, which really accentuates the walnut and the warmth and the richness of that as well. And then, like you said, the cool backsplash, which really just sort of amps it up a bit.
Yes, and then I also think that it's a great step away from your standard kitchen because you don't have a ton of uppers in here, which are just super overwhelming. It really allows for a sleek design.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we do nowadays is also for aging in place and things like that. And so you do want to incorporate a lot of drawers and organizers and things like that so that they're more accessible and easier to reach and functional. And that's why, drawers and things like that are so great.
And a lot of people can't necessarily wrap their head around having plates and cups in their drawers, but it's actually so functional.
Yeah, I mean, most people can get all their plates, all their bowls, small and large, in one drawer in a bank of 3. So it's actually a very great use of space.
The other thing that I love that you guys have done in here is hidden away the unsightly refrigerator and appliances. They're integrated right into the cabinetry.
Yeah, so we have Fisher Paykel integrated fridge and freezer. And one of the things we did with this one is we opened them both the same way so that when you're standing in this kitchen, it's always opening towards your counter space. And then we also have integrated dishwasher as well, which hides away the appliances, as you said, and makes it just nice and seamless.
It really just keeps it as a work of art.
It does. It looks amazing, and we're super happy to be here.
Go global with Newport Realty and Christie's International. No matter where you land, you'll find friendly people, incredible beaches, and recreational activities that exceed all of your expectations. This is the British Virgin Islands. In the British Virgin Islands, you will need a non-belonger landholding license in order to buy a property. This takes between 12 and 24 months to obtain. Purchases are normally contingent upon obtaining this license. Here's a charming 2-bedroom, 2-bath Caribbean-style villa just minutes away from the beaches. The master bedroom is separated from the guest cottage by a spacious swimming pool terrace. Designed for indoor and outdoor living, this tastefully decorated property combines timeless Caribbean elegance with contemporary flair. It is the British Virgin Islands, but the coin of the realm there is the US dollar. Go figure. I'm Audra Poole, going global with Newport Realty and Christie's International.
Today we're in the beautiful community of Oaklands. Dirk, you always have the best properties and neighborhoods to show us.
And this is a great one. Oakland's centrally located, really family friendly, just a terrific community. We're right close to Haltane Corners here, where you got your local coffee shop and grocery and all that kind of stuff.
Lots of parks to play in and perfect for the family.
It's awesome.
So why did the family choose this area for this amazing home?
Well, the family that's here actually was in the neighborhood already, and I fell in love with it right away when I met them, because it's the kind of place where kids are out, like you said, going to the park together and visiting each other like when we were kids. So it's a really special place, and they wanted to stay in the same neighborhood, but at the same time they were looking for something where they could build new.
And this home is very special. Why?
It really is, yeah. So in broad terms, about 2,500 square feet, built in 2018. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a really unique and flexible configuration. But probably the biggest defining feature is that it's a passive home.
So when you say passive, that's a confusing term for a lot of people. I don't think they understand what exactly that means.
Yeah, the big theme is that we're not talking about a home that's actively heated with a furnace or baseboard heaters or anything. It's passively heated. So it uses about 75% less energy than a conventional build, even a new build.
That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty
And
impressive.
how would you do that?
So essentially, it starts right from the design and through the construction. So you can see, even as we look around, the walls are really nice and thick. We're on this concrete slab that's actually insulated off the ground. We've got about 4 times the usual amount of insulation value in the walls and the ceiling and even under the floor. So the house is kind of thermally decoupled from the earth and from the environment around it. And then we're capturing and retaining all this solar energy through these big south-facing windows. And the whole house is built and sited within the lot and within the environment to capitalize on that.
That's one thing I love about passive homes, is how much design and thought really needs to go into them.
It's tremendous. And so the consultancy that was a part of this is called Soul Sustainable. It was a construction company originally with over 30 years of experience in renovation and construction. And now they're working toward a complete design build solution for green building and passive homes. And what they do is, right from the design through the build and the construction, right from start to finish, they took a look at the site and kind of went with this U-shaped design. It's facing towards the south, but it's also taken into account that sort of east, south, west, and north aspect. Putting the bedrooms on the east side so you get the morning light, putting the living areas on the west side so you get the later daylight, all the big windows south facing, and then the low use areas on the north side of the house, so that's where the stairs and the hallway and the mudroom and those kind of things are, where the windows aren't as big. So it's really built to capitalize on that sun exposure from the south.
And that just makes sense. It's not a dwelling that's just thrown up with not a lot of thought put into it.
Exactly. Yeah, and the design here has got tremendous flexibility. In designing the home, there was a special accommodation just for the kind of teenage kids to have their own area. They have a separate entrance where they can kind of come and go, but mom and dad can enjoy the main floor where the master bedroom is. They've got a beautiful master suite and then all the space to enjoy, host, and entertain. Well, the kids can come and go as they please.
And this home is going to be very relevant for years to come because you could even change that space upstairs to a suite if you needed to down the road or anything like that.
It's got a lot of flexibility. There's even a separate lock-off for family or friends, visitors, where you've got kind of a separate area with bedrooms and bathroom. There's even an auxiliary building outside that's code ready for a garden suite if one wanted to do that.
That's amazing. Let's talk about some of these cool design features. We're seeing a lot of the raw wood.
Yes, and it's funny, when I first met the folks who built this, I walked into their kitchen and there was a huge island that they'd built out of reclaimed fir that they had found literally in an alley in Vancouver. It's a great story. So they're really about reusing and upcycling materials, building green, and so, that's what the builders are all about.
From the very moment that you pull up to the curb, this has such appeal to it. You can tell that it's a really special home, even just from the exterior finishes.
It is, and you would notice it's all materials that are chosen for longevity, things that are going to be around for a long time. Metal roof, metal siding, even these solid concrete floors. So there was an intentional decision there to have a home that's going to be long lasting and low maintenance throughout its life.
Absolutely, you don't want to be just ripping materials out in a few years.
It's not very green to be doing that as a...
No, and this has such an exceptional design as well. It's not that it's going to become outdated because it's just classic.
Absolutely, and I think that any number of different types of homeowners would enjoy living here because of the flexibility that it offers.
Absolutely.
And Amy, one other thing that's really green about this home is that it's also completely solar ready. So we're ready to, in addition to just using the windows and the space to capitalize on the sun, the home is ready at any time to add solar panels to the roof and add to those energy gains.
And in our climate, we don't necessarily have those really cold days where you would need to up the heat too much, but it's there if you need it.
Exactly, and the passive design really lends to that level of comfort. It's hard to wrap your head around that this home is kind of a perfect 18 to 22 degrees Celsius all the time, all year round.
I've always wanted to see inside a passive home, and I know that they're going to be so popular.
I think this is a tremendous property, and it's a real testament to what you can do through design and ingenuity.